For me, Couch is the lay of the meeting. Dynaste from the Pipe Stable, similar. I suppose a horse coming in with a similar profile to Grand Cru, who was beaten in the race last year. This is a horse that wears flashy trousers, isn't it?
I don't know about his trousers, Denis, but I'm exactly the same as you. He is my lad and meeting. He's run 14 times. He's three out of three in December, and he's won 3 times in November and twice in December. That's the only time he's won. He hasn't won since then. Every other time he's won after in January, February, March, he's been beaten. He's a ridiculous price for me. He is my lad and meeting. I'm desperate to take him on. Boston Bob's and also Can't Get Right having a break last year. He got beat by Brindisi Breeze. He just seems to hit a flat spot, doesn't he, like he did at Leopardstown. His game is a vital, but I don't know, maybe they might run him in a 4-miler. Artiste had a very, very hard race to win a handicap chase. A very, very strange race to run a 5-year-old in earlier on in the year. And I think he was feeling that when he got beat. When he won at Newbury, when Hadrian's Approach would probably have won if he'd ever made a holdings to the second last and the last. That's his trouble, Hadrian's Approach. He jumps like Eamon Owens. So I can't have any. The one also I backed in the race, I backed him at 25 to 1. We keep going back about the Simon Sig form. The horse who was leading Simon Sig at Aintree last year, at the second last, was an horse called Super Duty. That's the last time he has run on good ground. He finished second to Simon Sig at Aintree. He'd been a lot closer, but he nearly fell at the second last. He's been running on horrible ground this year up north. He got beat at Carlisle, an absolute desperate ground. He got beat at Wetherby last time and maybe at the front a bit too soon. He's as tough as old boots. He's 25 to 1. He's trained by Donald McCain, and I think he'd run a hell of a race at a decent price. Who's that?
Or the Kimure, one or the other. That super shooting.
But I read the interview with Donald McCain yesterday on the Sporting Life website, and he said he didn't want to run him under top weight in the Kimure. So.
Davy,
if he does it, by the way, sorry, if he does run in the Kimure, I want to be with him because he won this a couple of years ago and had a touch in with Ballabreeze before it won the National. Maybe that's what he said yesterday, Davy. You know what trainers are, they change their things and obviously hold up with Super Duty. But if he does run in the Kimure, he'd obviously I'll be with him because he definitely wants this ground and he would have given Simon Sig some sort of race at Aintree.
Davy, I must say I'm a big fan of statistics and trends at Cheltenham, but there's an extraordinary statistic there that the last 18 winners of the Feltham Novices Chase have been beaten in the RSA Chase, and that doesn't augur well here for the favourite. But he was very impressive when he won the Feltham.
Yeah, again, look, Dynaste for me, the only thing he's in common with the horse last year is the same colour. I just think he's a different horse. Now, the reason I'm saying that he's entitled to be favoured is I question the Irish form. They're passing each other every second week here, and you have a different result, and they're all taking each other on, and I just question it. I'd imagine Willie's going to split the two from the same owner, and one of them is going to run 4 mile, and whichever one he runs in this, I just don't think they're good enough. But and looking down there, what's going to win it, and I keep coming back to Dynaste. But at the same time, I don't fancy him, but I just can't see anything to finish in front of him. I ride Jim Cullerty's horse,
Lord Windermere.
And look, I honestly don't know if he's good enough to win it, but he's entitled to run in an RSA, which would suggest that it's probably not the best RSA that we've seen in past years.
As you said, they've all been beating each other. That back in focus looks like he needs a long trip, doesn't he? Stay longer than your mother-in-law.
Yeah, he's bred that way. And thank God I don't have a mother-in-law at the moment.
I do, and I love her to bits.
Yeah. But he's bred to want 4 months. He's out of Dunbell, and look, she was very much a stay in there. I think she was 5 goals a year, which is all soft ground related. I would question Bob Backs at Cheltenham in general. I think the Putty Road was one, and Nicky Henderson had a good horse there by Bob Back, but after that, for all the horses after covering, I think it's a terrible record at the festival, which would suggest that would put them out for me.
So what you're saying is that you think Dynaste will win the race?
Yeah, but I've no
You've no hard view on it, like.
no hard view. But what Union News? Whose is that?
Union East Nichols horse.
Paul Nichols, he ran it at what we used to call the Massey Ferguson. As a 4-year-old, he was getting tons of weight off it. I thought it was a very strange sort of race to run a young horse in. It was that horrible ground. It had no weight in a 4-year-old. He got all the weight from him, and it was a really tough race. It was legless at that Cheltenham, and he ran in a Newbury novice chase the other day. And there was, for me, Adrian Approach would have won, and I don't think he's up to it. One horse who's very tough to run, very well at the festival last year. I really fancied for the 4-miler, but may run in this 3-miler is Oublon des Oboes of Venetia Williams, who's 33 to 1. That was third in the Pertemps final last year. Nothing was flying up the hill quicker than that. It's been running against Captain Conan over 2.5, and running over 2. That again is a real tough animal, good Cheltenham form, 33 to 1. I mean, again, as David said, we all want to take on the front 4 or 5 in this race. And Oublon des Oboes 33 to 1. We might run a big race.
Okay, so a bit of each way value there, possibly. Oublon des Oboes.
I'd also, if you want to come hunting in it, and you do take it quite seriously, I definitely revert back on the hurdles ratings. And if there is a horse there at a big price that has a big hurdle rating, I would suggest that you have some to be put in. It's just because it's that type of race. I think there's a horse going to pop up and win it, and you're going to come back and say he was entitled to win it because he's doing something along the way. So
sure. Just a point on the RSA, Davy, and horses. The last 7 winners, I think, have been 7 years of age, which give you plenty of encouragement to back the favourite. But it's a really difficult race for a young horse to win, isn't it? It's a tough race.
It's not necessarily, okay, you can go on it, but if you have a good horse, okay, it's not a tough race on him. But if you have a middling horse that maybe isn't good enough to go on the year after, it is a tough race for him. And this year, honestly, looks like one of them years. Like, I don't think you'll see any of these horses take on Gold Cups next year. And for the reason that it's nothing to do with the race being tough on them, it's that they're just not good enough. And you look back the years, and I promise you, 100 times over, you come up with the same result. They just weren't good enough. And the horses that won it, that continued on, just plain and simply weren't good enough.
Yeah, so the main horses are Denman.
David's right, as you say, Deadman, Florida Pearl, even like last year, Bobsworth and First Lieutenant, I think a great chance in the Ryanair. Bobsworth obviously fought for the Gold Cup. It's a quality of animal, isn't it? They're all tough at Cheltenham, they all go a strong gallop, it's all an hard race. It's like the Triumph, as you said earlier. We go back to them horses, they're good enough, they go on like, it's all part of being a good horse, isn't it? That toughness they got to have, like, that's what Cheltenham's so great, it's such a great track, it does sort them out, doesn't it, You've not only got to be good, you've got to be tough as well.
Somebody described it once as like, it's like the Epsom of the national hunt scene, and the Epsom is undulating, it's tricky, you need a good horse that is it's a huge amount of qualities.
There's only one derby, it's not the Epsom derby, it's not the Irish derby, there's one derby, and that's because it's Epsom, and all these arseholes trying to get it at Newbury and Doncaster, but no soul whatsoever. And the best horse normally wins the derby. You very rarely, maybe Dancing Brave in my lifetime, say, well, that should have won the derby. The best horse normally wins the derby because he's got a rack runner, he's got to go up the hills, he's got to do everything, he's got to use his near 4 off 4, and that's the reason why. But a lot of them don't go on because it does kill them 3 years.
Davy?
Yeah, but and again, you look at the derbies, RSAs. You go back to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th horses, and to be honest, they haven't done anything either. And you see good derbies, you see good RSAs. Like the year I won it on Charles' horse, like Long Run was 2nd or 3rd, and
Burton Port was 2nd, Long Run was 3rd.
But there you go, Burton Port came out and won the Hennessy the next year. Like Long Run came out and won a Gold Cup. Okay, our horse just was unlucky; he got injured, but. That's just the way it is. People, you can say what you like about horses, and you can go on about horses being hard, and at the end of the day, good horses are good horses. You can have an unlucky horse, fair enough, but that's all bullshit as far as I'm concerned. And this, getting back to today, if you can look up a horse in that race that has a very big rating over hurdles and it stays 3 miles, I would suggest that you have